Okay, we are back concluding our Tarawera race coverage. The champions interview 3 times in 4 years. Ruth Croft, congratulations on another incredible run yesterday. How are you feeling?
Yeah, like I was just saying, I think the runnable ones really beat you up a bit more than the ones when you're hiking. Yeah.
But you're just coming out of the spa, so you probably feel okay. You just went to the awards ceremony, so you probably feel both relaxed and triumphant after your amazing run.
Yeah, starting to move a bit better now that I've got out of the spa.
The zombie walking wasn't even that bad up there on stage for the top 5. I was quite impressed. We've all watched the zombie walk at Western States, for example. You guys aren't moving perfect, but you're probably moving better than Dylan and I.
Yeah. Well, I just sat in the spa for 2 hours and put mud all over my face. So I'm feeling not too bad.
So Corinne and I were just talking, rewinding 12 months now to Tarawera 2024. Man, it's just been like one after the next for you. And I don't know if you consider this maybe like the longest stretch of just like really consistent performance, but maybe you could just speak about the last year of racing for you and what's led to just like that really consistent level that you've had recently.
Yeah, so I started working with Scott Johnson. It was about 2 years ago, and then around this time 2 years ago. And I think after when I didn't start at UTMB because I got sick, I think our relationship started to just we started to figure each other out a bit better. And so I think it took really a year. Working with Scott, and then we've just been able to get into a really good routine with training and everything. Yeah,
I'll say it's not like Ruth was gone. You know. Like consistent, we were talking about how we feel like you're a consistency queen. Like everything you touch turns to gold in a lot of ways, which might be us over exaggerating. But we've seen you come to the top of many races, hold course records at many races. But I do think you had we wanted to see you start 2 years in a row at UTMB and just wasn't in the cards. And so I think this past year felt different in that way because it was getting to the start lines.
Last 5 races, right? It's Tarawera 24, Transvolcania where you won and broke the course record, Zugspitz, which was sort of a tune-up for UTMB, UTMB where you finished second but ran the fastest second half of anybody ever, and now here again, smashing a course record at Tarawera. We'll come to, the course differences, but 5 races in a row, basically the only one that's not a victory was UTMB where you ran the 3rd fastest time ever. It's just, a lot of consistency. Yeah. Any comments from you about that?
I don't know. But
it was not a question.
Like I said in the pre-race, it's just being a bit methodical about how I plan my season, and it's just not that. It's also the travel around it. When I'm in New Zealand, I'm not traveling, and then I only make the trip over to Europe once a year. It's all done, because I know just the way that if you're traveling across time zones, it really messes with you. And so it's not just the racing, it's the smaller details as well. I pay a lot of attention to.
I want to talk a little bit about how fast the times were this week. Can we dive into course differences? This is you've run this race a number of times. You've had to walk in the final 5 or 6K before. You've had victories here, going back to 10 years ago, basically, with the battle with Ruby Muir. But, this was by and away the fastest time ever run on this course.
50 minutes faster than last year.
Yeah,
5-0.
Yeah, but
no. So it's we can't speak to that experience because we barely survived the 50K. Yeah. So tell us a little bit from your perspective, what, if anything, those course differences are, and what might explain not all of, but some of the speed that we saw this weekend.
Yeah, when I did it 10 years ago, we started in the Redwoods and we finished in Kaurau. And then last year we started at Te Puia and did a couple of loops and came back to Rotorua, so completely different course. And then this year it was close to the original. There was the section from Outlet to Okatana. They'd had a slip that hadn't been cleared. And so instead of going through what would be single track and quite technical and probably quite a bit slower, we went on a forestry road. Gotcha. So it made it quite a bit quicker. And then there's just been little changes. Last year we came a different way into the Redwoods aid station. And this year we came more direct into the Redwoods aid station. So I don't know how you can compare, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, it was very fast either way, but well said in that it's difficult to compare apples to apples. And as people look through the historical results of Tarawera, there are a lot of years where the course was different, but suffice to say, it was an insane 100K you put together yesterday. To what extent do you attribute the performance to the battle that you had with Caitlin? Because for us as fans and spectators. As soon as we finished our 50K, it was like straight to the live tracker, and it was like Ruth and Caitlin separated by like a minute at Okataina, I think it was.
Yeah.
She's a fellow Kiwi. Take us into, that competition with Caitlin. Anything that was exchanged, anything that the audience might find entertaining or fun?
Yeah, I pretty much owe it to Caitlin, really, because there was I was saying to her, how you want to start your season with a bit of like a soft launch. It was very much a hard launch. I was like, there was no moment of like relaxing yesterday. She was like, and I called her like a mountain lion. She was just like stalking me the whole day. Like she was like 20 meters back, and then we got into Miller Road and we were together. And it wasn't until Blue Lake with I think it's 18K to go, that I was actually able to put a gap on her, and then just got a bit of momentum from that. But yeah, and I just felt with her chasing me, there was no way I could sleep yesterday.
So did you get a gap on her before the aid station at Blue Lake?
Yeah, it was just before the aid station, and I tried to get in and out of the aid station. And then after that, I just was like, okay, you're not allowed to turn around. You're not allowed to look back.
Well, I think what was cool too is that, it wasn't a wire-to-wire win either. We know that Beth went out pretty hot at the beginning too. So it seemed like the women's race had a lot of like cool dynamics at the front and then through that chase pack as well. So I have to imagine there was no sleeping out there.
No, and I knew Beth would go out hot because last year she went out really hot, and I stayed with her, and I kind of really struggled. I had a really low patch in the second third of the race, and so I was just going to let her go yesterday, and knew that I felt like when we got into more of the single track, I'd probably be able to pull her back. She was a lot quicker on the like forest roads and that.
You said in your finish line interview that you were enjoying just chit-chatting with the Kiwi trail running community while you're out there, commenting about how you were having conversations about the housing market in Wanaka. I'm personally curious, what's so interesting about the housing market in Wanaka?
Because it's just gone insane. It's crazy. And a lot of us live there. But it's like probably the same as you guys when you're in the US, like you're catching up with friends and that. And it's the same when I'm in New Zealand. And it was like people that I'd raced in the 100K in 2019. And so it's good to catch up with them. We met a guy when it was with Mayal and Dan. We did the UTMB recce. And we met this guy called Will from Hamilton, and we met him yesterday again. And so it's just catching up with people and just chatting and trying to like pass the time, especially at the beginning because it was quite a lot of forestry road.
That's so sick. We were chatting in our post-race show this morning about the golden tickets and kind of where they fell in the race. And Dylan had a big talk earlier in the week how he was going to peer pressure everyone to take the ticket. And then he didn't even acknowledge you with a ticket yesterday at the finish line. Just acknowledge you as the champion. So talk to us a little bit about that because people will be curious, right? Yeah. We can speculate all we want about like why no Western states, what are the other focuses. So in your own words, tell us why Dylan didn't even have to try to give you a golden ticket yesterday.
He knew it was a hard no. And it's nothing against the race. Like, I love the race, but I know personally that I have 100 miler in me per year. Yeah. And there's no desire to do Western States and then having to change training and just get my head in the game for another miler like 2 months later. For me, I personally think it's kind of crazy. But as I said, other people are motivated by different things, and I'm just not motivated by that.
Yeah. Well, just an update for our viewers and listeners too, because it's already outdated what we mentioned in our post-race show. Helena Faulkner has indeed decided to decline her ticket, so it's rolling down to Nancy Zhang, who finished fifth place. So rolling down to fifth place at Tarawera. Awesome. Nancy gets her chance too, and both Ruth and Helena Faulkner maybe will come in the future, but this year, different focuses, nothing against that. Share a little bit more about, Caitlin and Dan both had incredible races. Yeah. Both are also Kiwis. You guys are all teammates. Have you guys had a chance to kind of share some more stories from yesterday? Anything fun from that?
We haven't chatted too much, but yeah, obviously it was just a good battle with Caitlin. And as I said, like I wouldn't have had the race I had without her. It's just a good human and good value. And no, it was good. And then obviously Dan had an awesome race, and it's just been good that, with Terex, we've had a big push in New Zealand. And so it's cool that we can have 3 Kiwi athletes do really well.
Yeah, it's super exciting. You just mentioned when we were talking about obviously why no Western States that you've got 100 miler in your year. Sounds like that 100 miler is UTMB. Dylan and I, again, in our post-race show this morning, were like, well, remember how Ruth finished second at Western States and then came back and took the win?
Yeah.
Going back to UTMB this year, like
where you were second last year.
Where you were second last year. Big goals, obviously, we imagine, is that you get around that loop first. Tell us a little bit about, pointing all the ships towards the race at the end of August.
Yeah, so I think, when you do a 100-miler for the first time, there's a lot of unknowns. And so I think going into it for the second time, I don't have to worry about that side of it. And also there's just so much I learned last year of things I could probably do better. I'm going to do, as I said, a copy and paste from last year, do Transvolcania and then kind of the same build up. I'll go to teen for about a month. And yeah, I'm not going to change too much, really.
Cool. I love that training camp, the not being in the Chamonix Valley, but being somewhere a little bit different, I think is super interesting. Ryan, you want to go film some workout videos? Okay, Ryan's in. Good.
Well, Ruth, you're amazing. As we were watching yesterday, I was like, oh, Caitlin's really challenging Ruth. And obviously you've just had such an incredible career. And I think it's also when you are challenged and you still rise to that occasion, you find that extra level. And even though the courses are different, running 8:24 on the Tarawera course, another just signature victory for Ruth Croft's amazing resume. Congratulations.
Thanks. But I think it's just the way ultra running's going at the moment as well. Yeah. You can't
comment on that. Yeah, because you've been in the game for a while now too, and it's just you constantly have to raise your level. Actually, Corinne and I were joking. We're the only two people getting slower in the sport.
Everyone else is getting faster, and it's so sad.
Well, it's just Riley Brady's time breaking Keely's record by 30 minutes. It's just insane. But it's you can't be complacent on the start line and think, it's anyone can show up and have a good day.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, I think it keeps us all in check and makes sure that we, are trying to get the best out of each other too.
The other thing you said at the finish line that I'd love to have you comment on more is something to the effect of winning's not going to last forever. I don't take this stuff for granted.
Yeah.
Expand on that.
Well, it's Caitlin, I've raced her in OCC twice. And then now this is the third time I've raced her, and it's just getting closer and closer. And so I know my time's going to come. And so it's just enjoying those moments. Yeah.
Yeah, she had you looking over your shoulder yesterday. 6 minutes is...
Oh, it's nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely nothing.
That's exciting, though.
She has 120 grams of carbs an hour, and I'm a lot lower. And I'm she's just going to eat me up.
Literally, she's working her way towards eating you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ruth, thanks for making the time coming in here, especially immediately after the spa and the podium presentation. Three victories in 4 years here at Tarawera. It's awesome. Can't wait to see you at Transvolcania.
Yeah. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.